have something to supplement, because Tornado by itself, while super strong, when you first get it, the spell power is just not good enough to really kill things fast enough. Nope, no dragons to be found, sadly. No sufficiently powerful dragons. I have sort of become a dragon. You are sucked into a shaft. Hate it when that happens. Starburst isn't even that loud, that's weird. You see me? I breathe the fire now. That's right. Okay, we have Arlek now, so I don't care too much about that guy, although he can still do good damage to me, so why don't we follow best practice and try to paralyze him. And succeed. Why don't we go ahead and Condenser Vein, getting the best thing. Man, the range on this thing leaves something to be desired. I feel like it might be... Is it one shorter than the old bolt, or no? Is that 5? Yeah, it's the same as the old bolt. Anime? Snake Branch is fun. Resistant to fire. Cannot reduce the AC of a ghost, unfortunately. Oh, well, that's cool. Check it out. I have to hit my own battle sphere. I guess it doesn't matter that much. Wait, is it not even firing off of that? No, it is. Okay, good. I wonder if I radiate, it'll destroy it. Okay. What just happened? Why is there fire? I didn't make that. Is that just part of the vault? I burned down a tree. Ah. What's his AC? Too high for Tremor Stones to matter. He hits pretty hard, actually. He's got a speed thing. Should be using acid. There we go. All for a single ring of dexterity that I don't even want. There are no accidents. Oh no, I burned down a tree. All I want for Christmas is a little more spell power. It turns out that having Starburst has not exactly fixed the issue of me wanting to be able to kill things in one hit, or 2 hits at the most, which is we're pretty much there, I guess. But maybe I'm just greedy. Maybe I just want to have more damage than I deserve. That's 2 hits. Okay. Oh no, oh no, that's too much damage even with the little tiny baby boy shield that I have. Starburst animations by themselves are going to add an hour to the run. Well, I'm tempted to go turn the animations off. I hope to God that they at least had the competency to make that doable. But we're going to stop. As soon as we get Ignition online, we're gonna stop using that. Hey Senshi, what's up, man? let's just... Okay. There you are. God, it really does take a long time. Shit, we're out of mana. Alright, forget this. It's time. It's time to just bust out the evokes. Do not suffer animations from spells unless they're Firestorm. Oh! Oh my god. Did you see that damage? I have RC, it just didn't fucking matter. Like the base damage, Arbalest of Freezing, 25 plus Arbalest. What a pimp. We have to blink. This is why you want a large shield, my friends, and not this stupid dinky little... She's got a gun and I am in her Florida home. I wonder if fog would be guaranteed. I'm not going to roll the risk. I don't think it's guaranteed even with this tiny little hallway. That's right, Senshi. I mean, fog is pretty likely to work, but I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how many tiles of fog it makes. It spills out around you, so the less room there is around you, the more likely it is to... I mean, I would need fog clouds in these 3 squares, basically. I feel like it's guaranteed if I use it, but I think because I have 2 blink, I'm gonna proceed to not screw around, essentially, and blink over here instead. And dig. And just kind of say, no thanks. To these shenanigans. Now she... Oh boy, she is a big boss, the amount of damage she can do. But she can be handled. 2%, let's... Is she worth blowing a Vuln? How did she hit me with Frost? She has an Arbalest of Freezing. Aren't we glad that we're not using the Salamander Gang armor? Could you imagine if I had RC minus right now? I'd probably be dead. That was with RC plus she did that much damage to me. Okay, Vuln. Para. 32%. Bounced it. Now we're just like dodging all of her attacks. Come on, 32%. There we go. There we go. Perhaps I should have just been casting on her, now that I think about it. Because what am I going to do now? I'm just going to cast on her. The goal was to paralyze her before she got all of those attacks on me. So yeah, that Vuln was unnecessary. Of course, I figured she would be doing an awful lot more damage to me. We just got either very lucky over that last combat, or very unlucky in the last one, and the one before just now. Instinctively die if there's an ice cave. Yeah, no, having more than one level of RC minus, believe it or not, doesn't add any chance of taking more damage. RC minus is the same as RC minus minus minus. Although it would be funny if that wasn't the case. Louise goes down quite easily. Starburst is doing work. Pretty much the same as Bolt of Fire, just more annoying to use. If you put something into the game and all it really does is make the game more annoying, perhaps you should reconsider. I mean, okay, I get a little bit of AoE here for the price of a super long animation, and as far as I can tell, the same damage as before. But I just don't like bolts. I mean, can we come up with something that's a little less silly than bolts? Than Starburst, rather? To replace the bolts if we really have to get rid of bolts? I mean, the worst thing about the positional magic idea to me was that on its face it was not a terrible idea. It was just implemented in the goofiest way possible, and they did this sort of big show of sort of pretending to ask for feedback and then basically ignoring feedback from anybody they don't like, which is sort of par for the course for how they do development of this game. Like, there were Reddit threads where they were soliciting feedback, but it's fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's Fugazi, I believe they call it. Fugazi? How do you say that? Spurious, you might say. Okay. It's a woozy, it's a wazi, Fugazi. That is exactly what I was thinking of as I said that, I have to admit. It's not fucking there. That guy rules. Yeah. It's pronounced Bitcoin. Wow. Any mods here? Could you ban rogue shenanigans for me? He has dared to insult Bitcoin. Ban those who insult Bitcoin. I'll have you know that the price has, I believe, returned to 40K. People keep calling it a bubble, but this is a very curious bubble. Multi-decade, well, more than one decade long bubble. Crying into my pile of magic money. Dude, I wish I was one of those people who had like 220 bitcoins. Have you guys seen that news article that was posted about the guy who had one of those, I mean, not only did he forget the password to his wallet, but he had some kind of hardware wallet where I guess that after 10 failed password attempts, it just locks you out forever and deletes the data. Which, I don't know about that, man. Call me crazy, but if I was going to run with a device like that, I would not want to do that unless I had some kind of backup somewhere else, you know? The whole point would be to stop a bad actor, right, from stealing your Bitcoin. But if they somehow got a hold of that device, but it also stops you from getting your Bitcoin if you were to forget the password later. Straight up lost Bitcoin somewhere. A lot of people do. A lot of people bought a whole bunch of it back when it was worth pennies on the dollar, and they would be billionaires. I wouldn't be able to live with that, I don't think. You know, that's so wild. It's hard to let go because it's like, especially if you just have the hardware, a hard drive sitting in your house somewhere, and you're like, well, okay, this thing has fucking hundreds of Bitcoins on it. I'm a multimillionaire, except I don't have the password. Like, that would be crushing, like soul crushing. For me, anyway. I don't know if maybe other people might react differently, but like, I just think that would be hard to live with. Have that thing staring you in the face. I'd have to throw the thing away. I'd have to melt down the hard drive to feel better about it. Because otherwise it would be all I could think about. Like, how do I get in this thing? Can I, you know, like, is there a way? Can I figure it out? It would consume my life at that point. That's the guy I was talking about, for Sarah. Like, if I was that guy, I would do my 2 more password attempts, and then I would I would go to a volcano and I would throw the hard drive into it so it can never trouble me again. And then I would never make the same mistake of, you know, not having the password to my Bitcoin. Just jump in the volcano. No, because, you know, as long as you're still alive, there's a chance you can make that money back, but to be reminded of it every day, oh man. I mean, I'm sure that thought would cross through my mind in that scenario, Tony. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't really? Simply not have the hard drive that kills itself. That's the thing, like if he... So let's say he forgot the password, but could remember bits and pieces of it, you know? There are certain things you can do... I call it targeted brute forcing, but I'm sure there's some other fancy name for it. People who have developed these custom pieces of software... I've thought about getting into this business myself, actually, because I know I could write a decent one, where essentially you take what it is the person can remember about the password, and then you brute force it. They give you your wallet file. This is all, I'm not talking about hacking, I'm talking about they willingly give you their wallet, then you brute force the password, and then, like, you give them their Bitcoin minus some percent that you've agreed upon before. I'll just break open the hard drive and get the Bitcoin, what, like with a screwdriver? I don't think it works that way. You open it up and there's actually coins in there. Like physical golden coins. Yeah, it's a pretty, I'm assuming it's a pretty limited industry for a couple of reasons. Like, number one, you've got to have a fair bit. Okay, there's three things I guess you would need to get into this industry. Number one, you would need probably some pretty decent hardware. Actually, no, you could rent the hardware. Number two, okay, so you don't need the hardware. Let's say there's only two things you need. Number one, you need a lot of technical know-how. Building a script that does this kind of thing. I mean, it's not exactly like top tier computer science, but it's pretty high up there, I guess, if you want it to be efficient enough to, you know, not have to spend a whole lot of time doing it. Remember, the more time the worse efficiency of the program, and the more time it takes to crack the passwords, to find the password. Ultimately, the more money you're going to spend renting the hardware required to do it. And then the second thing you would need, which I think is actually more important than computer science skill, is you need to be trustworthy, because these people are essentially giving you a giant pile of money and saying, please don't rob me. Please stick to the agreed upon thing. And I suppose there are probably escrow services that you could use. But in the end, it requires an enormous amount of trust. So that's actually one of the reasons I haven't gotten into it, because I'm just like some asshole, you know, that's not particularly well known. And so why should anybody trust me? You know, I mean, I wouldn't steal people's Bitcoins, but they don't know that. This dude is pretty sus. Exactly. Well, dude, imagine you're somebody with like 200 Bitcoins. Are you going to trust some random dude on the internet? You know? I wouldn't. Based. We just found another scroll of blinking. We now have two. Gamma Funk mass emailing my potential clients under a sock puppet. Well, that's the other thing, is I unfortunately have developed sort of a following of psychopaths who aren't huge, not you guys, but other people who just really don't like me, either because of my politics or whatever, you know. I've dared to criticize, you know, their narcissistic ways, and so I promise you that if I opened up a business like that, I would have people emailing my clients. Maybe not that particular guy, but maybe, I don't know. He has a history of, like, that particular person has a history of reporting every single space that I exist in online, you know, so I guess that wouldn't surprise me now that I think about it. Is blockchain just VPN for money? That's wow. I usually like thinking in metaphor and analogy, but that is an interesting one. Let's think about that. So VPNs exist for privacy and to protect you. I would say that blockchain is. I mean, yeah. I'm just going to take it seriously because even when somebody's trolling me, if they ask a question that's sort of interesting, I will pretend. I will pretend that it's 100% genuine. So, unless you're dealing with a privacy coin like Monero, I would say that no, it's a really terrible analogy because there's no privacy to be had with. People say Bitcoin is privacy money, and in a sense it is, but in a sense it isn't, because if the government really wanted, for example, I don't think you should be hiding from the government, but if people wanted to use chain analysis tools on your transactions and stuff with Bitcoin, they probably could eventually figure out and trace the transactions to you because it's a public ledger. Privacy coins like Monero don't really have that problem. But I mean, as far as the other sort of defensive aspects of a VPN, it's like having Bitcoin and generally working with blockchain cryptocurrencies. You are your own bank, you know. So there are benefits and there are detriments to that. The detriments are pretty obvious. If you don't do it right, you might get hacked. You might lose access to your passwords. You might lose all your money. Pretty big detriments, right? But there are also huge benefits, which is that, like, actually no, this is kind of similar to a VPN. So if I have a VPN, in theory, my traffic is it's less possible to find out the things that I have visited, right? Which kind of sort of stops people from blocking me from visiting certain websites, right? Which might become more important as political thought to the right of Karl Marx becomes treated as illegal, or like effectively illegal, not actually illegal, but they'll try to get you fired if you go to anything right wing. So anyway, what I'm saying is that blockchain and Bitcoin and whatnot let you bypass censorship in the same sort of way, not the exact same way, but the same sort of way. Insofar as right now, if I want to send you money, if it's fiat money, if it's the US dollar, even if I'm buying a book from you, something that's not shady at all, just it's totally legal. I'm buying a fiction book that you wrote. But the banks have decided that you're like a high-risk guy. Maybe you have politics they don't like. Maybe they just don't like you. Maybe you live in some corrupt country like Venezuela, and the government has decided to persecute you for some reason. For whatever reason, the banks don't like you, or the credit card organizations don't like you, Visa, MasterCard, etc. You can be put on something called the match list, and you can proceed to never be able to do those kinds of transactions again. Now, with Bitcoin, that's not possible. There is no one on this planet that can stop me from sending you Bitcoin for your book if I want to. That is censorship resistance. It's very strong and very, very important going into the future. Really, it's the dream of a free and open internet. You hear these companies like Firefox and Twitter parroting the language of the sort of technocratic libertarian types. They'll actually say the phrase free and open internet, but they're all liars, just like pure evil liars who you cannot take seriously, to the point where it does actually remind me of 1984, like some Orwellian shit where they say, freedom is slavery, peace is war, and so on and so forth, because you have your like trust and safety councils, which sounds Orwellian in and of itself. I neither trust these people nor do I feel safe when they are involved. Likewise, when they say free and open internet, and they say that they support it, what they actually mean is they want a completely not free. They want a walled garden which is closed, not open. It's all a bunch of horse shit, essentially. And you just cannot trust these people. If you wanted to have a free and open internet, you would absolutely need a free speech money like Bitcoin, which cannot be stopped by some parasitic middleman who exists basically to only serve two purposes, which is to be a gatekeeper and to extract some part of the transaction in the form of cash. You know, I think that we kind of lost our way when it comes to the internet. I think in the very beginning, there was this sort of dream of a very free place, and I think that has fallen away. That has fallen away as horrible big companies like Twitter, Facebook, Google, and so on have essentially controlled every little aspect of the internet. And now you can't even really run your own site and be popular without their blessing, in a very real sense. And I'm not just talking about the thing where Google will make it so people can't find your site on search. I mean actually being on the clear web, insofar as they'll go after your registrar, and if they fail to do that, which they will succeed if you're saying anything that's politically untoward, but let's say they don't succeed in that, then they can just DDoS you, and they will. And what will happen is you'll have a leftist company like Cloudflare say, we usually offered anti-DDoS, but we're not going to offer it to you because you have politics we don't like. And they've done that multiple times now. And the problem is, like, you might say, well, okay, go get a different anti-DDoS service, but I could count the number of top-tier anti-DDoS services on my hand. There's Cloudflare, and I'm sure that AWS, I think they do that, and that's probably okay. And I can't really think of any others that actually serve the purpose of stopping DDoS at a large scale when you have a really, really popular site. So all of this stuff, half of it at least, is really technical. And so I'm sure that some people, your eyes glaze over because you're not computer scientists, and that's fine. But it's really challenging and frustrating to explain exactly how fucked up the state of free speech is on the internet, because it almost requires you to be a computer scientist, or at least sort of conversant on the topics of computer science to understand, because there are so many little aspects of the infrastructure that kind of people can just sort of complain about, and then they disappear if they don't like you. So, and to understand that, you have to understand the infrastructure to some degree, because a lot of it's like, okay, can't we just solve this? Can't we just have our own servers to do anti-DDoS? Well, you could. I hope you have six figures. I hope you have like $10,000 to $100,000 a month to pay for that, you know? Anyway, yeah, I guess that was a bit of a rant. We never found any acquirement. Isn't that funny? We found a trove that wants to acquirement, but we don't have any acquirement. 3-hour answer to a questionably serious query. I'm very easily baited on these things, you guys. I see our viewers have gone from 40 plus to 29. The politics chat has successfully performed the viewer reduction strategy. Based. That's right, you don't like it, get the fuck out. Alright, I kind of... Hold on a minute. I'm going to go back to Snake real quick. I saw a vault there. Was that a chaos? I think I just, like, without even thinking, I just saw this and walked away. Yeah, it's too dangerous to go in here, because you can open it up, and the scimitar, or whatever floating weapon it is super quick. So you can open it up, he walks out, hits you, paralyzed, dead. So whoever's idea it was to make these little tiny vaults, super silly. It's just never worth opening them up. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I saw a chart like that. Apport should open doors. Now there's a cool idea. That'll never be implemented in mainline, but that is a fucking great idea. That's like Mage Hand sorta in D&D. I like that a lot. If I had a fork, I would take that idea and run with it. Man, the possibilities. It's such like opening and closing doors with it. It's one of the best ideas I've heard, actually. It's funny because the best ideas in crawl are often like really simple little changes like that would open up like whole worlds of opportunity, basically. Whole worlds of things that you could do tactically. You don't have to make huge changes to you know, huge mechanical changes to have a big effect, you know, and to do interesting things. Alrighty, we have 2 runes. We have Shoals rune, we have Snake rune. Probably go to Elf next. We have enough HP that... What's it called? Annihilator. We have enough HP that we don't die to Crystal Spear. And we have just amazing resist. And importantly, as Rogue Shenanigans says, we have our elect now. And we don't even have to worry about being abyssed. Cherry on top. The only thing that's a problem in there... The only thing that's a problem in there really is animated weapons and, I guess to some degree, Blade Masters and Archers. Master Archers. Do we have Silent Scroll? That's the good question. Yeah, we have 1. So we have 1 get out of jail free card, although curiously I'm a little less concerned about mages here and more concerned about just raw damage coming in from the melee types. We can kill animated weapons with Irradiate really easily, so that's really not an issue. I kind of want to pick up a big boy shield. I guess I'm going to stick with Warlock's Mirror, though, because I just really... I'm so hungry for spell power. I'm using this goofy thing solely so that I don't have to spend more experience on shields for now. But yeah, we can do Elf. But I need magic so much that I think we're going to train spellcasting all the way to 15. The beam is likely to hit you. Fuck you! Check it out. It'll bounce off of both of the... Actually, it'll bounce in 4 places and hit me with 4 starbursts. And I would just die instantly. I'm glad I didn't cast this. I didn't realize this would bounce off walls. Wow, thanks for changing and taking away my bolt of fire for this. Crystal walls are a plague. They really are. This is safe because it won't bounce far enough. The range is not enough. God, imagine if I had just like brain dead pressed Y there. I almost did. Are you not immune to fire? I thought you were very resistant. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to get much damage. But we are so resistant here, I'm really not too afraid of what's going on. We're just going to have a few enemies that are just mildly annoying to deal with. And we will enjoy the horribly slow casting of Starburst. Oh, I might be getting 5 runes, by the way. I might go ahead and do Abyss at some point, because I think somebody won a Tengu Fire Elementalist. And they only got like 3 runes, so just to secure the points. Hey, this is cool. Let's enchant this. Dexterity. Teleportation. You know what? Am I carrying Brand Weapon? I am. Take Fog. Take Vuln. Take Ammo. 52 slots. We're going to drop AC. Nice, more haste. Anyway, if it sounds like I get overly passionate about this internet free speech thing, imagine how frustrating it might be to hear phrases like, oh, it's just a private company. They can do whatever they want. And then, you know, to refute that, you sort of have to talk about how the entire internet is controlled by, you know, under a dozen private companies, which if you don't have all of their blessings, then you pretty much can't run a popular website. Hey bro, just make a new internet. And it's really frustrating because it's difficult to sit down and explain that in under, you know, 2 hours. It takes a long time. And it's such an easy little canned thing to say, like, oh no, bro, just don't like it, make your own. Well, that's the other thing, is like the reason why we restrict what the government can do is because the government has an enormous amount of power. These lefties think that they're like saying some kind of immaculate gotcha, like, oh, well, you're right wing, so you must believe in the free market, right? Well, we're not really talking about the free market, for one, and also the whole reason that we regulate the government is because of how much power they have. You know, when private companies have more power than governments, then hell yes, it's time to regulate them. It's time to regulate the shit out of them. Once upon a time in this country, you know, we reached down the hand of God basically and busted up companies, so to speak. And what I'm talking about is how we broke up the Bell system. How the government decided that they were a monopoly and they did something about it. And a sane country would have done that by now with big tech. But they can't. They can't do it because they're too powerful. I would not be surprised if the majority of Congress is essentially on the payroll of these people. I mean, if you think you can't buy senators... wow. Fire elementals cannot go in there. It's kind of funny because, like, you hear me bitch a lot about lefties, but the reality is a lot of the more thoughtful lefties are right there with me on these ideas, you know? What I'm really bitching about is, like, the woke left that sort of listens to exactly what the media says and kind of swallows it unthinkingly. Thank you, Tony. I love you, bro. You are indeed one of the people I was thinking of. Exactly, Roche shenanigans. It's a rather crass way to put it, but pretty enlightening, I guess. I think they took away our missile on... yeah, somebody had the genius idea to take away our missile. Wait, just kidding. They still have it. Could have sworn they took that away. Curious. The slow animations are worth killing these things instantly. Except these guys didn't want to die instantly. I wonder, does this trigger the... Huh, it's a conjuration spell, and it does trigger Battlesphere. It just kind of dies instantly to Battlesphere if you... dies instantly to Radiate if you have the Battlesphere next to you, so kind of hard to consistently do that, I suppose. I never knew that, though. I also never really thought about how many things in here are just straight up immune to fire. Like, what do you call it? The earth elementals. Thankfully, we do have a Radiate to bail us out of that situation. Scorched Earth animations? I don't remember that. Was that a spell? Or is that a game? Imagine if Ma Bell could control what everyone could say to each other. Do you think she would have been broken up? Well, I mean, Ma Bell was a telecommunications company, you know, but back then the technology wasn't advanced enough to be sort of at the front and center of our economy and of speech, you know. They were too big for their britches, and the technology wasn't even really there yet, you know. Now, I tell you, Google, you know, and all these tech companies, it's a vertical monopoly, which, you know, is probably 100 times worse than Ma Bell ever was. It's crazy that we put up with this shit. It's crazy that the government, you know, lets this happen, but at the same time, a lot of these companies, here's a little secret for you, are funded, you know, by aspects of the government, you know. I want to say that I think Facebook was like a CIA project to begin with, or something like that. Or there was something with Zuckerberg where he was involved with the CIA. I mean, if you think about it, you've got this website where people talk about their lives day in and day out, and they do it from devices with cameras and audio recording on them. Isn't that basically like an intelligence agency's wet dream? Hey, let me just get all of your data. Let me get every aspect of your life and literally track your location at all times, you know? Maybe it's just my conspiracy-driven mind, but something tells me that the way that all of this went wasn't entirely an accident. The way that social media developed, something tells me it didn't just kind of naturally evolve this way. All right, let's be careful. This is Elf 3. Okay, I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to start doing this. And he just doesn't want to die, but luckily he's doing no damage to me, based. I probably should have popped on our core there. There may have been a chance of me dying if he did like absolute top tier damage with 2 corrosion bolts. I don't think so, but maybe. Well, that's Warlock Mirror. Sometimes it does cool stuff. Lightning Rod. Ooh, I'd really like to have Lightning Rod here, but I'm going to be super stingy because it could be in the loot pile. Man, I'm at the point where I'd really like to have Firestorm. Or Ignition. Should we just start training nothing but fire to get Ignition online? Imagine if we had Ignition right now. Maybe it's time. Actually, what am I doing? Let's just... What we'll do is we'll close the door, right? Get them next to me, and then use our bolt power, yeah? With Ignition, we wouldn't have to worry about dodging, would we? It would do somewhat less damage. Oh no! Okay, this vault's actually not that bad with our current skill set. The fact that there's water here is extremely cute. They have their little half-assed moat here. And it's really just going to do me favors, you know? Thanks, bro. Please, step into my steam bath. Didn't think this through, did you? When you're setting up your little elf party castle. My favorite vault in DCSS is the Sauna Vault, by the way, in Zot. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Yeah, this is wonderful. Also, cherry on top, I'm a Tengu, so I just fly right over it. Therefore, it doesn't even slow me down. It slows them down. The ultimate hubris was these elves setting up this moat. They thought they were building it for them, but really they were building it for me. Oh, the Sauna Vault, So it's a bunch of it's wacky because you find it in Zot, and there's like a bunch of draconians that are neutral to you, and they're chilling in this room with a bunch of water, and in the center, there is an orb of fire, like sort of in locked in like a bunch of clear walls, and little fog clouds appear here and there. So they're just chilling in the sauna, using the orb of fire to generate the heat. That's great. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, I admit that mechanically speaking, it is irritating to deal with, but that's one of those few times that the flavor of it, I mean, I guess after you've seen it 30 times, it's kind of whatever, but that's one of those times where if something has like really cute flavor, it's hard for me to hate it, even if it does mechanically make it kind of annoying to get around. I mean, there's a solution for that, where you maybe make that not the default behavior for neutral things. Although I guess you probably, I don't know, unless you, I guess you probably would want to stop auto explore on neutral, since bad things can happen if you don't. Here's what it should be. It should be something that you can somehow like see into, but not auto explore into, so it doesn't block the auto explore. Because if you just see a neutral, as long as it's behind like a glass wall or something, I don't think it causes that issue. I want to keep my javelins, believe it or not. We're going to drop flame and we're going to drop random effects. Ruined doors and clear walls. There you go. Auto explore doesn't open up ruined doors. Why am I trying to fireball something that just doesn't really care about fire? You know, 4 wins is great, but if I didn't have it, I might be using regen MP at this point. Okay, there's the guy I was a bit afraid of. In fact, there's both of them. I'd like to... Oh, he killed the battle sphere. Huh, I wanted to irradiate him. Let's condenser vein. Somehow we didn't get flames where he was actually standing, and I'm a bit confused. I guess maybe there were steam clouds there before, and that's why. Let's run backwards. He's faster than me, but if he's on water, it's worth it because it makes him, 1, move slowly, and 2, hit me less often. Let's irradiate. Let's take a step back. I wish I had BVC. We didn't get that. I should have done this first, but whatever. We'll open up with it. We'll now use acid. I can't die, can I? I should have checked that before. 50 damage plus 2 rapiers. Yeah, we're okay. But he attacks quickly, doesn't he? It is fast. Yeah, shit. I'm actually taking a big risk here. For maximum safety, we're going to drink... Well, not maximum safety, but pretty big safety. We're going to drink Invis. And now we're going to attack, because we attack really fast, so he can't get his multiple attacks on me. He is shapen and mutated. No, I'm going to run the risk of doing 1 more acid. I want... Okay, it misses. 1 more. It doesn't have the debuff. Come on, get the debuff. Alright, he's almost dead, and he's wandering away, so... Alright, that worked out. It worked out. How many fireballs did he just live through? Ah, he had fire dragon scales on. Like, bro, you are the tankiest high priest I've seen in my life. And there it is. Lightning Rod. Told you it might be the end vault. For some reason there seem to be evokers in here just like all the time. Another one. I could invis again immediately, but we have full HP. Was that running? What now? Oh, you're just saying the boots might be. Wouldn't that be cool? I should have memorized something else for this situation. Huh. Okay, can I... Gosh, what is this MR? Yeah, it's huge. Never mind. Okay, there's the irradiate. Oh, we almost killed him just with one irradiate. Let's make sure we kill him again. Or make sure we kill him... Not again. You cannot kill someone twice, so we make sure we kill him with the next spell, is what I meant to say. Here we go. There we go, baby. I ignore the Ring of Wizardry. We just don't need it. I ignore the Ring of Magical Power. We just don't need it. I do need to drop some shit. Let's drop the Ring of Slaying. See what the staff is. Staff of Conjuration. What do you mean I've identified the last magical staff? Oh, there are Saves of Fire here. Tempting. Man in Deep Elf Death Mage's house. Man, we didn't see too many of those fellas, did we? I think we saw like all of one, and I don't think he was even on this floor. They banned necromancy in Elf today. Oh, you know what? Guess what, Tony? I don't have my nasty bird feet will not fit into these shoes, so it doesn't matter if they're running. My gnarled bird feet are not fit for the shoes of man. Caw-caw, sad caw-caw. Alright, really not a very interesting loot pile, but this character is so outrageously defensive at this point with the resistances that I can't complain. I really cannot complain about not getting much out of this. We got Lightning Rod and we got experience, so... What's my longest stream? Really, I think I did like an 8-hour stream once. It's crazy. This is quite the marathon. We're actually about to call it to a close. I have some things I'd like to take care of. Difficult to imagine what good loot is for this character other than consumables. An artifact hat that does something other than just being +1. An artifact medium shield, maybe with resistances on it. Arcor would be good. Or just like a medium shield of protection is what I would like. Yeah, artifact cloak, although I'm pretty happy with repulsion considering that our resistances are covered. Some kind of body armor, I guess, that's somehow better than Swamp Dragon scales, like artifact Pearl Dragon armor. I mean, that's the thing, is that you're basically right on top of the target rogue shenanigans. Like this, there's not a whole lot I could find that would improve this guy. To the extent that I think I'm gonna go ahead and burn an enchant armor on this hat, because if we end up using it forever, I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm gonna do this, even though I'd rather not, before we stop the stream, because it feels dumb to leave the gold on the table. Alright, fellas. Come down to a hallway, please. He really does. I mean, you're always baited in there for the experience, but when there's a whole bunch of gold on the table, it's just like, why? I have to do it, you know? It's like being offered extra piety on a normal god. Hey, lightning rods are amazing. That is legitimately one of the best items in the game. And why is it the best item? Or one of the best items? Because, like most things that I enjoy in DCSS, it is reliable. 2 of those will almost certainly do a little bit of damage to anything. And if you can reliably do a little bit of damage, you can reliably finish something off. And That is just so good. So good in a game where misses and 0 damage attacks happen all the time. Frankly, it's so good that I'm surprised it's still in the game. They tend to ruin things like that. Ah! Not the Vorpal Glaive. This is ugly as hell. I have to teleport. I have been memed out of a teleport. Yeah, QB of Holy Wrath. I need to turn you into gold, sir. Oh yeah, we actually have the best thing. I wasn't even thinking. You can magic... With Battlesphere, you can just magic dart these things to death at range. It's not elemental damage. I wasn't even thinking. It's kind of the ultimate way to deal with them. You can even Searing Ray them to death, because non-elemental damage is just so good. You know, they only have 15 HP is the reason. Please send me that on Discord. HCCJ, what's an HC? Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll go at the end of the list, for Sarah definitely comes first, but yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Hermit Crab? Do I dare ask? Do I dare ask what the Hermit Crab is about? Politics? Oh no. They seem based. I think I vaguely remember people in my Discord talking about this a while back. You want to see Goon's wacky spells? Oh, I see. Okay, I'll make an effort to do that. Why not make me play Wizard instead then? Since they start with more schools. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can play whatever. I can get whatever spells I want. CJ starts with Battlesphere, I see. Alrighty, well that's Elf. Oh, Goon Battlesphere works differently? Are you going to tell me, or should I find out on stream? Turn it on and it stays on. Well, that is pretty sweet, I have to say. I hope there's some penalty for that, so it's not turbo unbalanced. Like, I hope that you have to keep 5 mana reserved or something. But no, that sounds really cool. Anyway, I have been streaming for way too long, so I do believe that's going to be it. Probably next time we'll go into Slime first. I think this character can do it. I think Goon likes to be turbo unbalanced. That's true. They have those wacky, super crazy unrans in that game. And honestly, I respect a game that throws balance to the wind and just focuses entirely on fun. And I think that's almost, from what I understand, I think that's what Bacadron Crawl did too. And I'm very excited to play that fork. So I don't think that it's exactly the same thing as mainline, and I think that's just fine. And so there's definitely room for both kinds of forks. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed the stream. This Tengu Fire Elementalist is going pretty well past its after its first floor tribulations. But until next time, I am signing out. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.